Fish on! It's a big fish.
Last time I spent 30 days surviving in the Canadian Rockies, but now...
Effective this Thursday morning, April 2nd, until April 30th, I am ordering all Maine people to stay at home.
So this is the 30-day Survival Challenge Maine Lockdown.
Fish on!
I want you to catch, please.
All right, we are down here at the river again. I've been stuck in the office all day. I gotta do some fishing. Bought those waders I was talking about. We're gonna give them a try out. Got the fly rod that I got from LL Bean, the Ultralight Stream 2 or something that I used up there in the Rockies. See if I can't catch a fish on the fly rod. I do not understand what is going on here. First there's snow. This has to be the coldest spring on record for 20 years or 50 years or something. It's ridiculously cold. Jackets and gloves. I'm all rigged up and fired up. I'm not in a good way. I left my good flies, the one that Ness Rods made me, custom Ness rods, and I wanted to fish those flies, and so I tied on what I got. These are flies that I tied is it 20 years ago? Back in high school. So longer than 20 years ago. Like 25 years ago. Holy cow. Hopefully the hairs don't fall off them when I try to fish them. Let's see if we can catch a fish. I don't know how else to explain it. Oh, it got deeper right there. I've never been in waders before, so this is just like, oh, I feel like I should have had a walking stick. The water is really moving. I have never done this with waders in the water like this, so I got some pretty heavy flies on there. Oh, I got one heavy fly and one not so heavy fly. Feel much better if I was just twitching it into a tiny stream or something. This is crazy. The water is so deep here. I think I caught like a piece of debris. Definitely not a fish, unless it's a minnow. Oh, I caught somebody else's fishing line. How messed up is that? I've never done that before. I mean, well, okay, like this. There we go, I got it back. Somebody else's fishing line is strung taut from here right down through, so yay, that's fun. Let's see if I can get, if it doesn't happen again, I'll have to move. Oh, I just stink at fly fishing. Right into the end of the pole. Look at this. Should be making how not to fly fish video. I just want to fly fish so bad, and the water's so high and so miserable out here, and the spring is so cold. I know. Want some cheese with that wine? There we go, she's out there. Well, it's not pretty, but I'm getting it out there. Not very well. Wow, this water is cold. I'm gonna move down to something a little easier. Oh, there's a fish right there. I think I spooked it. Yay, I caught a branch. I can't even begin to tell you what a weird feeling this is to be into the water up to your waist. It is so creepy for me. I don't know why. All right, try a different spot.
And as promised, a little shout out to those of you that joined me on FishBrain and tagged your catches hashtag fishing with Fowler if you want to get a shout out in any of my upcoming fishing videos. Saber Outdoors caught this beautiful Dr. Pepper on a fly rod, would you believe it? Oh, and maybe this bluegill as well. Next up, we got a beautiful giant northern pike from Silly Goose 225. And a beautiful carp caught by Luke Howgate, but they can't always be big. But as long as you're happy with your catch, that's what counts.
All right. Come on. Got him on the reel. I can't believe I caught a fish. I really didn't think I was gonna catch one. I thought I was catching sticks again. I'm so glad I set the hook. All right. Oh my goodness, it's a big fish. It's a big fish. Oh, lost him. It's a big fish. Oh, lost him. Oh, all right. Well, they're in there. Maybe I can catch another one. Apparently they like my flies. That's 20-year-old flies I tied. Oh, that's great. What an achievement. All right. Try again. Thank you, Lord, for the... Oh, Lord, won't you give me a fish for dinner? My friends all have TV dinners. I'd like something better. Ah, I keep catching that one rock too. Not a fish, just a... Oh, that was miserable. Right up into the tree. Is that a thing for fly fishing? You bring a pole saw with you for foolishness like that? That was a good one. Came off the bottom and went up into the tree. And if I work it lightly, I can get it off. Lost the fish, lost my hooks. 2 casts later, I went up into the tree and I lost my satchel. I walked off and left it at the first spot. The whole point of a satchel is I should have had it. Haversack, have it on me. Go get it. All rigged up for a second go at the fish. This is the same as the first one that I almost had that fish on and then lost. And the unique thing is, it sucks that I lost this one up in the tree. I can always probably get it back, but like, it's way up there. This was made from, both of them were made from squirrel hair, from a squirrel I took myself and then dyed olive like this. And the tail is from a red squirrel. So that's pretty cool. And then I put the old, just fish killer right there. I mean, this thing, woolly buggers, ooh, they just love those. We'll give it another go. Sun's starting to go down. I don't got much time. And the GoPro died on me. I don't have another SD card. Because I brought everything else but SD cards, I tell you. So if I get sucked in and I start going downstream and you don't see me come back for the camera. Tell my parents and my girls I love them.
So I'm not the most graceful fly fisherman. I'm a bit out of practice. I don't even know if I ever was in practice. When I used to fly fish back in high school, I spent more of my time tying the flies than I actually did the fishing. Those hundreds of flies that are in my fly box, that's just half of my collection. I had flies tied for everything, and at least half of those flies don't even match insects around this area. They were just tied because I thought it was a beautiful pattern. Kind of the story of my life. I've always been more interested in the making of things than I am of trying them out. When it came to bows and making archery stuff, I spent hundreds and hundreds of hours, and then I'd shoot a little bit here and there, and I never really got heavily into it. Nowadays, the majority of that creative energy goes into making of all my videos, and that takes away sometimes from the making of things with my bare hands. So I gotta find myself and come out on days like today, find a stream, and manage to fail at catching a fish. Because failure can be its own reward. You've learned something. You've done something. You have something real that you've tried, and if you can learn from that, you'll take home a lot more than always succeeding and never having to struggle. All in all, not a bad day. I never did catch that fish. And the waders are really nice, even if they're not very flattering and they make me look more like Mr. Potato Head than I care to. So I'll keep fishing, and you keep watching. We'll catch that fish. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Fowler out.